let us have a new lesson, that is new kingdoms and empires, a history lesson that also is very important. From the early lesson that is about Ashoka the Great, we studied a lot about the different methods that he followed to spread his good ideas or instructions, that is called Dhamma, in different countries or among his own people. And one of the method was the preparation or writing the important messages on rocks or on pillars in the form of inscriptions. And also he placed all that such inscriptions in front of people, and he allowed the people to read, and if they are unable to read and understand, he appointed some officials called Dharma Mahamatra. Here also we are going to study such one important ruler from North India, especially in the areas of Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, etc. There also we have to study one important name of such an inscription, from which we are going to get all the details about the new kingdoms, empires, and the different methods or the extension of their empire, etc. That is also one of the important pillar made by Ashoka and also placed in Allahabad. From that Allahabad pillar made by Ashoka, one important details about the oldest and also one of the ancient empire and also the emperors are already inscribed there. That is called Gupta Empire. And from that inscription, we can understand many more things, just like the founder of the empire was Chandragupta. And after Chandragupta, his son, that is Samudragupta, was the next important powerful kingdom. And about Samudragupta, lots of details were inscribed on the Allahabad pillar, and the person who inscribed all the details about our Samudragupta was a greatest poet and also one of the powerful minister of Samudragupta, that is called Harisena. He wrote all the details about Samudragupta in a style of praising that person, that is prasasti. Prasasti is a Sanskrit word. From that prasasti, all the details about or some more important details about Samudragupta, that whatever graces he had, whatever victories he had, whatever extension that his kingdom had, etc. were given. So prasasti is one of the important type of writing which also has its meaning called in praise of. Mostly in praise of that particular ruler, the inscriptions will be prepared. Such type of inscriptions are called prasasti. So Allahabad pillar prasasti is one of the important informative idea about Gupta empires, Gupta Empire, emperors, and especially about Samudragupta. And Samudragupta also have different names. That means all the different names of Samudragupta shows his capacities or talent. That is, he is also known as Kavi-raja because he is one of the great poets and also have his abilities to enjoy or to write poems, etc. And so, from the pillar prasasti made by Harisena, he described all the extension of his empire. And he also described about 4 different types of parts of the kingdom of Guptas under Samudragupta. One of the important part of that Gupta Empire was known as Aryavarta rulers. They were in the northern part of India, especially in the areas of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, etc., where the important centers of his kingdom also existed, where these Aryavarta rulers were 9 in number. All those 9 rulers came or become a part of Gupta's administration or Samudragupta's empire, because after conducting war against them, Samudragupta was able to capture all that areas and made a part of his empire. That is called Aryavarta rulers. And the next kind of rulers were also known as Dakshin Padha rulers. That means on the way to southern part, especially in the southeastern coastal areas of India, around 12 rulers were there once during those time, and all those rulers were defeated one by Samudragupta. And firstly he captured all the places, but later Samudragupta allowed all that Dakshin Padha rulers to rule their country by themselves, but under the supervision of Samudragupta. And the third category rulers were called inner circle rulers. They were the neighboring areas or the neighboring state to Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, just like the areas of Assam, Arunachal Pradesh, etc. Then some countries like Bhutan, Nepal, then parts of our northwestern portions including Pakistan or Afghanistan, etc. They also had kept a good relation with the Samudragupta by giving him gift, tribute, etc. And normally they also attended the meetings or court activities of Samudragupta regularly. The fourth type of rulers were called outer lying rulers. That means above or beyond the boundaries of Samudragupta's empire, just like Shakas or Shatavahanas in one side or Sri Lanka, etc. in another side. They were extremely out of the boundary of Samudragupta, but they also had kept a good relation with the Samudragupta as he was a powerful ruler, and they also give their daughters in marriage to Samudragupta's family. So almost a good relation that Samudragupta kept either within his empire or the countries out of his empire also. So such a different type of countries or areas were there under his supervision. Some of them were directly under his control and some other portions were with the outsiders but giving chances for them to rule their own area. So such a vast extended empire he had. And the most important places in his country or in his empire were just like Padaliputra, Prayag, Ujjain, etc. were the important centers within his empire also. Prashastis had given not only the details about the administrative system or the extension of their empire, but those Prashastis were also given details about his family details. That means the name of his great-grandfather, grandfather, parents and his predecessors, etc. also were listed in that some of the important Prashastis. So from that Prashasti also we can understand that his great-grandfather or grandfather, etc. used some titles just like Raja, Maharaja, etc. And some others just like Samudragupta or somebody more after him also accepted some titles just like Rajadi-raja, etc. So all that changes in the titles that they accepted shows the increasing power of their kingdom. And here in case of these Prashastis, some of the Prashastis were in the form of a genealogy. That means giving list of rulers in an order, orderly arrangement of the list, a name of the reasons or the incidents of a country will be given in that genealogy. So from such a genealogy, it also gives details about the great powerful ruler after Samudragupta, and his name was given as Chandragupta II, because Chandragupta first was the father of Samudragupta. So the same name with another term called Chandragupta II. So his kingdom or his country or the country under Chandragupta II, he is also called as Vikramaditya. And during his court, it is also says that world famous scholars just like Kalidasa or Aryabhatta, etc. were also honored his court during the time of Chandragupta II. All such details also were given in the Prashastis. So Prashastis are considering as one of the important source of information about the administration, the important rulers of that country, the system of their changes that each and every of the rulers followed, etc.
So, we will continue the remaining portions of this chapter in the next days. Lots of details about new kings and their policies, etc. need to discuss here. So, let us stop here. Study well. Thank you. Have a nice day.